we're going to move on to something very, very different. And that's the best linking device you get from me, Scott. Next film, please.
It's not that different. It's got Ghost in it too. This is Last Night in Soho, where Thomas and Mackenzie's Ellie Turner's move to London from rural Cornwall to study fashion design does not go quite as well as she'd hoped. Initially, that's from the overwhelming assault of the big city and the assorted arseholes that find their way there, but she seems to get some respite from her unnecessarily bitchy classmates when she leaves the hall of residence and lodges with Diana Rigg's Miss Collins. However, it turns out that this just swaps a world of mundane troubles for the supernatural. It seems that Ellie has already had previous form of seeing dead people, but only her much-missed mother. The vibe of Miss Collins' place is decidedly different, with her dreams seemingly transporting her to inhabit the world of Anna Taylor-Joy's Sandy. Seems quite cool at first, Sandy being a supremely confident go-getter in the swinging 60s, a time period that Ellie seems to have more in common with than whatever adjective we decide to call the 2020s. My choice would be suboptimal. However,
I was going for hellish, but...
However, Soho in the 60s has a notorious dark side, and it's not long before Sandy falls into it. The man she trusted to help her singing career, Matt Smith's Jack, soon turning into her pimp, with her life spiralling downwards into what is apparently her murder. In her waking hours, Ellie tries desperately to find out more about Sandy and her fate, earning her a great many side eyes, particularly when she starts having to dodge the faceless ghosts of the past that have started encroaching on her reality, leading, as often happens in this kind of thing, to poorly evidenced accusations and an eventual reveal of the awful truth of things. Wikipedia lists this as a psychological horror, and not for the first time. Wikipedia is wrong, and I wish that it wasn't. There's a period where this more or less does fall in line with psychological horror, and it works very well. Both Thomas and Mackenzie and Anna Taylor-Joy are likeable and sympathetic enough in their own ways, and Matt Smith has a blend of charisma and menace that almost made me stop thinking of his Doctor Who. There's also a great supporting turns from the likes of Diana Rigg and Terence Stamp that adds to the mystery of it all. However, and this will come as no surprise to anyone that's heard our opinions on horror before, supernatural elements can do one, and there's plenty of that in this. And by the time Ellie's being chased around the library by what looks like dudes with tights over their faces, this has gone over the cliffs into a chasm of unnecessary filler material. Thankfully, there's not quite enough of that nonsense in the back nine to completely spoil the good work done by the actors, which is arguably better than the script deserves. And when that's put alongside director Edgar Wright's traditional breakneck pacing and soundtrack choices and stylish cinematography from Chung Chung-hoon, more known around these parts for his partnership with Park Chan-wook, well, there's more than enough to hold my attention in Last Night in Soho, and I'm sure for anyone who's less philosophically opposed to horror films, they'll get even more out of it. To sum up, -5 stars for putting Cilla Black in it.
Yeah, the Cilla Black thing set me off on the wrong foot for at the beginning. Although, to be honest, it was never Cilla Black's music I had an issue with. She had a couple of songs that I thought were passable enough. It's more her big gobbed, loud-mouthed, red hair from a bottle, nosy bitch persona from Surprise Surprise, etc. that I despised. So, first of all, I got around the whole horror thing by deciding quite early on that this wasn't a horror. And I didn't regard it as such because horrors are all miserable, and I wasn't miserable, so I thought it couldn't be one.
I'm not sure your logic holds up there, but okay.
It's my logic, Scott. And also, it's not scary, although that could make it a horror because I've never seen a scary horror film. Still waiting. The sort of psychological stuff, it got a bit much at the end, but for the most part, I was quite enjoying it. I was seeing it more of a kind of like a time travel-y, alternate universe sort of thing more than a horror.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I was seeing it. It was working for me. And it certainly misdirected me well because I had the same thoughts about the identity that the character does. I assumed that was coming. So, that was not right. Okay, that well done. You played me there. And yeah, it looks good. It's well acted. It doesn't have the same sort of use of music as choreography and pacing that Edgar Wright's films usually do. So a wee bit of it maybe, but a lot of it he's doing a very different type of film from what he's done before, so I guess that's fine. Just maybe a bit unexpected. And Thomas and Mackenzie's great. I've really been looking forward to seeing her in something else after Jojo Rabbit. So she's great. And it's fine. I enjoyed it and it looks interesting. It's just the sort of psychological horror stuff gets a bit much at the end, and then I think my bigger problem is I don't think it stuck the landing. especially because part of that ending seems to be forgiving murder.
Yeah.
Like, I know that these people deserved it. I think there's almost nothing in this world up to and including murder that actually deserves death, because I don't think that's very moral. And sadly, what these people did, unpleasant perhaps, but probably not worthy of death. But, you know, that's just me thinking that, you know, you shouldn't probably punish things with death. But yeah, it's fine. I didn't not enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I forgot how to English. Yeah, I'm trying to stop myself from repeating myself like I keep doing. I quite liked it. That'll do.
Yeah. It's perfectly acceptable entertainment. I was maybe hoping for a bit more, given the director's track record. But
yeah,
it's
something a bit more special.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Yeah, it is. Certainly, if you've any kind of appreciation for his former work, then you will certainly get enough joy out of this to be worth recommending it. If you haven't seen any Edgar Wright stuff, then probably there's better places to start than this. But if it's the kind of concept that kind of appeals to you, then certainly give it a go. As I say, I definitely did not. I did not like it. I didn't not like it. But also, I didn't not like it. So 11 out of 10.
Just an addendum to what I said about thinking that, you know, most people don't deserve to be punished by death. There are very few crimes where that's actually appropriate.
Cilla Black does, yeah.
Yeah, and I you know, I think that you probably it's probably wrong to teach people that killing is wrong by killing them, but there is one person here who deserves death, and that's her roommate, because she was odious.
Yes.
Stratocaster or Telecaster, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Joe Caster, I think. That's all I have to say on that, finally.